A felony warrant has been issued for Sam Brinton, a deputy assistant secretary in the Biden administration.
It sounds like some of them people you fired are in the audience.
An enormous migrant caravan of well over 1,000 people crossed illegally.
The arrest comes just hours before SBF was set to appear before Congress. Of course, that will no longer happen.
Lot going on, kind of get you up from over the weekend. Didn't do a show yesterday because of technical difficulties, but Sam Bankman-Fried has been arrested in the Bahamas. The trans energy official from the Biden administration got caught stealing again and was subsequently fired. Elon Musk was booed in San Francisco. Holy cow, lots to get to. Oh, also the border invasion. All that more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go.
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is December 13th, the year of our Lord 2022. Almost over 2022. Even the new you in 22 didn't happen. There's always new me in 23. Wow. Came up with that right now. Anyway, a lot to get to today, and I want to get started off on a nobody wants to say I told you so, but also this is not shocking. Do you remember this? Sam Brinton was a Biden official in the Energy Department, the Department of Energy, got caught a couple weeks ago stealing somebody's luggage in a Minnesota airport. I believe is the Minneapolis, Minnesota airport. Some lady's luggage with a bunch of jewelry in it, and got caught stealing that. Okay, fine. Nothing happened, by the way. I don't believe I think they were charged, but he wasn't fired from the administration. Then it happened again. This time last week, I believe Thursday in Las Vegas at the Harry Reid Airport. He tried to steal somebody else's luggage for a second time and was charged with, felony theft of somebody's luggage. Okay, so if you don't remember who this particular individual is, I want to play this for you. This is from Now This, talking about, this is Sam Brinton, again, the Biden official, who I think he's officially been fired, but I guess the White House hasn't officially said anything. I'm sure the next time Jen Psaki's at a microphone, she'll talk about it. But watch this. This is just a glimpse of who this particular individual is. Check this out. Oh, also, by the way, if you haven't already, would appreciate you clicking the little like button and the little share button. Really, really does help us out. It continues to kind of keep this thing rolling. Anyways, watch this from the Biden official, former Biden official. Check it out.
Hi, my name is Sam. My pronouns are they and them. It's also really important to recognize that pronouns change sometimes. Many of us will not always have the same pronouns because our gender is changing or our gender realization has changed. I think that's really, really important for us to say that the flexibility of your personality should be something that we can respect, and the flexibility of your gender identity is something that we can respect.
Okay, so without getting into and maybe we will at some point get into the nuance of gender versus sex and the way they're trying to divide it, but also conflate it at the same time. It's a really kind of interesting intellectual gymnastics trick that I think a lot of your people on the left are doing, and it should be good to understand. But putting that aside as it is right now, that's just a little glimpse of this person and how he feels about things in general. And again, it's not surprising that someone that kind of believes this sort of weird stuff would actually also then go do some other dumb stuff like steal people's luggages. Let's see if I can find it's kind of interesting. Brinton, who's appointed to his former position in June, was caught on surveillance camera making off with a $320 bag from a Las Vegas airport, the Las Vegas Harry Reid International Airport baggage claim. That contained more than $3,500 worth of jewelry, clothing, and makeup, according to police. Brinton, who uses they, them pronouns, does not identify exclusively with either male or female. That's where that, okay. we might have to get into the whole male, female, man, woman, because those are different things in their mind, but then they conflate it to make everybody confused and go crazy. He was described by a detective as a white male wearing a t-shirt and rainbow-colored atomic nuclear symbol design, said the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in their arrest warrant. Britton faces felony larceny charges in the Las Vegas theft case and felony theft charges in the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport incident, where Britton was accused of snatching a woman's Vera Bradley suitcase with items that were valued at $2,300 from the baggage claim. So this guy's trying to steal over $5,000 worth of stuff, which I believe in California is the equivalent of a traffic ticket. But thankfully, it happened in other places. But he has since been fired. So this happened last week. The nuclear waste official was placed on leave from the agency following the Minneapolis theft accusation. And now they say that we demand the resignation, yada, yada. So he's no longer with the department anymore. I made the joke yesterday on Newsmax, in case you watched, that the Biden administration has put themselves in a sticky situation in which they can't just fire Sam, because that would, in their own people's circles and minds, say that, well, this is an anti-LGBTQI2 plus A. I'm going to get that right eventually. Anti-that act, and firing somebody is only based in transphobia. This is kind of an interesting dynamic here, because remember, a lot of people, including, I believe, the New York Times editorial board, if I'm remembering correctly, say that intent doesn't matter when you're talking about doing anything negative to a minority or a trans act, any minority ever. They say that, okay, well, context doesn't matter. Nothing matters as long if you're doing a bad thing or a negative thing, not necessarily a bad thing, a negative thing like firing someone like this. That is an act of transphobia or racism or whatever it is that they want to call it. But in this situation, the Biden administration has put themselves in a situation where they believe that sort of stuff and then still have to do it anyway, because you can't have a serial thief on your staff. So there's that. Let me just play. This is a clip from, I believe, one of the local news stations. I'll just play this really quick, and then we'll move on. Check it out.
An Energy Department official is accused of stealing luggage from Harry Reid International. The 8 News Now investigators learning a felony warrant has been issued for Sam Brinton, a deputy assistant secretary in the Biden administration. Sources tell us Brinton is caught on video stealing the luggage. Brinton is accused of similar crime in the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport.
Yeah, okay, so that's basically just sums everything up much more quickly and much more concisely than I did. Brinton faces up to 5 years in prison for the Minnesota theft and up to 10 years jail time in the Las Vegas heist. Holy cow, that is a lot of time in prison. Let me see, where do we want to move to next? Okay, let me know in the comment section, because I don't actually know. How attuned are people to Twitter, right? I understand that this is an entirely online platform show, so if you're watching, you're already on social media. It's not like any other platforms like radio, for example, or TV, where sometimes you can just not be on social media at all. But I'm curious, how interested are you in all the Twitter stuff? Because Twitter has been in the news constantly for the last month and a half, and more specifically in the last 2 weeks, where they're dropping these Twitter files things. I think it's super, super fascinating and really interesting to watch and see. But also, I want to be cognizant of people who watch this show. Like, I'm so tired of hearing about Twitter. So let me know in the comment section if we should go over this Elon Musk stuff. But in the meantime, we'll jump to this. The crypto mini Madoff was arrested. Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, the guy who we talked about FTX a couple weeks ago. FTX is a cryptocurrency exchange platform. People traded cryptocurrencies. Effectively, he took all of the money that was bought from his crypto. FTX released its own cryptocurrency, their own currency. He basically took all of that money and then made it disappear. He also, interestingly enough, and I don't think we should forget this point, is the second largest single person donor to the Democrat Party in the United States of America. There's George Soros and then this guy. He was arrested for a lot of different things. Now, I think Trace Gallagher on Fox News explains it much better than I will, so I'll let him do that. This is what happened last night in the Bahamas. This dude who was arrested for losing, I think, like close to $10 billion, which is this is a pretty big amount. Check this out, and we'll discuss on the other side. Also, if you haven't already, would appreciate you clicking the little like button that's down here, or the little reaction button, and the little share button. Really, really does help us out. All right, check it out. Watch this.
News out of the Bahamas, where FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried has now been arrested, and Bahamian authorities are now waiting for an extradition request from the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. The arrest comes just hours before SBF was set to appear before Congress. Of course, that will no longer happen. The New York Times says the charges include wire fraud and bank fraud, which means SBF could be looking at life in prison. In November, FTX and its affiliates, roughly 130 companies, filed for bankruptcy after investors fled the cryptocurrency exchange on fears that FTX no longer had sufficient capital. In other words, it was the crypto equivalent of a bank run. Bankman-Fried has maintained that he did nothing illegal and simply screwed up, and some, including billionaire investor Bill Ackman, believed him, apparently tweeting, quote, "Call me crazy, but I think SBF is telling the truth." Clearly, the feds do not agree.
Okay, so yeah, he got arrested in Nassau, which is he had a big old house in the Bahamas, and was running his mini Madoff Ponzi scheme out of there. Also, again, I will remind you that he's the second largest Democrat donor in the country. So there is that. That's a kind of going to be a big problem for them. Bankman-Fried, let's see. Okay, so authorities, so this is as of last night, but I think there's some news changing, and I've got a video clip from Fox that happened like 20 minutes ago. So let me read this. The Bahamian authorities have not yet received a formal request to extradite Bankman-Fried, but promise to promptly fulfill any request made by the U.S. authorities in accordance with its own laws and treaties with the U.S., according to a statement. The exact nature of the charges against Bankman-Fried were not made clear at the time of the writing. Both Bankman-Fried and FTX have been under investigation by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Committee, the SEC, and the Department of Justice for several months amid allegations that FTX loaned billions of dollars to clients and assets of the sister firm, Alameda Research, the trading house. So this guy basically took a bunch of money and made it all go bye-bye. Let's see. This is a great comment here. Ryan says, I want to hear which Dems got donations from this guy. I believe it was just to the DNC. I don't know specifically. That's a great question. I'll try and dig into that and see who specifically got a bunch of money from him. And then Ryan also said he lost $22 billion, which is a huge amount. That's quite a bit. All right, so this is what happened just a couple minutes ago. This is again from Fox News on their news desk, talking about what actually happened. I believe he's gotten 8 different counts in a more formal indictment from the the Southern District of New York, which is Manhattan. Check this out, and we'll discuss on the other side. Watch this.
States. This is the indictment released by the Southern District of New York within the last 20 minutes or so, an 8-count indictment. I want to read the headlines here. 4 of those counts deal with wire fraud. Then there's a conspiracy to commit commodities fraud, conspiracy to commit securities fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and violate campaign finance laws. Bahamian authorities announced this arrest last night. The news coming out of Nassau. He has a multi-million-dollar estate in the Bahamas and has been, as critics would say, hiding out since FTX collapsed. Philip Davis, the Bahamian prime minister, said yesterday the Bahamas and the United States have a shared interest in holding accountable all individuals associated with FTX who may have betrayed the public trust and broken the law. Congressman Lee Zeldin furious that Bankman-Fried was arrested, not that he was arrested for those crimes, but that his congressional testimony will likely be severely delayed given these charges. Zeldin said last night in a statement, tomorrow Sam Bankman-Fried was scheduled to testify in front of the House Financial Services Committee. House Republicans were ready to grill him 6 ways to Sunday. Now breaking tonight, SBF was just arrested. Why not allow him to first testify tomorrow and answer our many questions, under oath?
So that's actually a huge issue that I think a lot of conservatives / Republicans are mad about. SBF, the founder of FTX, was supposed to testify in front of Congress today, which I believe is still, it's still a Democrat-led House committee, and instead got arrested and therefore won't be. Now, there's a lot of people that say he wasn't going to actually show up anyway. He's going to call and say, "Oh, I'm sick. I can't make it in," or not make it in, but I can't. I'm having internet problems here, so I can't connect as effectively as I would have. But that's a huge, concern. I don't know if it's a concern, but it's an issue that he was arrested immediately before being able to testify in front of Congress. Is it some sort of cover-up? Maybe. Might look like it. Not wanting him to obviously testify and find out all of the things that he was doing over at FTX. We will leave that there and go on to this. This is a story from yesterday on Fox News. Sunday night, huge border invasion. This is a big, long clip, but this is one of those where I tried to cut it in some way, and it just wasn't cuttable. It was just, everything in this is worth watching and worth listening to. Bottom line, key takeaways here: the border is under a severe invasion, and there doesn't seem to be anything that the Biden administration is doing about it. And I guess lastly, the actual process, the logistics of it has become a well-oiled machine run by the cartels, and nobody is safe. I hate to be a fear-mongerer there, but holy cow, this is nuts. Watch this. This is Bill Malugin from Fox News, who got this footage of, I think, 1,000 people crossing the border, and we will discuss on the other side. Again, this is lengthy, but important and dang fascinating. Check this out.
The biggest single group we have ever seen during our border coverage crossed illegally into El Paso, Texas right now. And we'll get right to that stunning footage. Take a look at this. This was Sunday night in El Paso. An enormous migrant caravan of well over 1,000 people crossed illegally into El Paso last night. El Paso media reporting it is potentially the biggest mass crossing in the city's history, potentially at least in decades. And you can see from this video, wave after wave after wave of hundreds of these migrants just walking across the river and then gathering on the U.S. side of the river. They form a single file line, which you'll see in the video at some points goes as far as the eye can see. It was chilly in El Paso last night. You'll see some of those migrants start campfires on the U.S. side of the river as they are waiting to be processed by Border Patrol. CBP sources telling Fox News in the last 24 hours alone, that El Paso sector has had nearly 2,400 illegal crossings. They've got more than 5,000 people in custody right now. And the city of El Paso is reporting, as of this morning, Border Patrol has already started mass releasing several hundred migrants to El Paso city streets as Border Patrol is completely overwhelmed. So where did all these migrants come from? Take a look at this video we shot in Ciudad Juarez yesterday. These buses of migrants, about 20 of them, received a Mexican police escort to the border. You can see in this video Mexican police guiding about 20 of these migrant buses, all of them full of migrants, into Ciudad Juarez, the Mexican city across from El Paso, where they were dropped off at NGOs and shelters. The migrants didn't stay at those shelters. They then walked down to the river and crossed illegally into El Paso en masse. And it's happening all along the border. Take a look at this third piece of video. Eagle Pass this morning, our team up there in the pre-dawn hours finding a group of nearly 500 migrants that crossed illegally, all at the same time. As you can see, almost all of them single adults. Eagle Pass getting hammered in recent days. A couple days ago, a group of 702. Then over the weekend, a group of 650. And it's having an impact on Border Patrol infrastructure up there. Last video we want to show you, take a look at this. Our drone team shot this over the weekend in Eagle Pass. This is Border Patrol's, they call it a soft side facility, the tent processing facility on the north side of Eagle Pass where they process migrants. It's got a capacity of 1,000. Well, over the weekend, they started overflowing. You can see lines of migrants waiting outside, waiting to get inside. There were Border Patrol vans loaded up with migrants that couldn't unload because they had to clear space on the inside. Border Patrol is just overwhelmed in multiple sectors on the border right now. And back out here live, keep in mind, all that video you just saw is with Title 42 still in place right now. It is set to drop in 9 days, and all of our Border Patrol sources are telling us you can expect pretty much chaos and a surge on top of a surge when it finally drops. We'll send it back to you.
Absolutely incredible. Bill Malugin, great job. Thank you.
Yeah, that's again Bill Melugin from Fox News, who's very, very good at what he does. I know that was a little bit long, but I feel like it just kept going. Of just like there's more stuff to talk about, more stuff to talk about. Let's see if we can get to some of the comments in here. It is kind of interesting. Debbie says nothing from the mainstream media, of course. Yeah, that seems to be the case. They don't care about the southern border at all. Karen says the Biden administration is overwhelming the U.S. And then Gabriel brought this up. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know really much about this. Can't DNR find them for starting fires? I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think the issue is not necessarily starting fires and all of that sort of stuff, but yes. Wow, there's a lot of comments flying in. Skeeter says this. Thank God our borders are secure. Doesn't seem to be the case. They believe that is sarcastic. Yeah, wild stuff going on there. But that pretty much does it. Yeah, that's we don't need to get further into that. That's just what it is down there, and it is wild. Paul says, "Close the border, damn it." Yes, that would appear to be the sentiment of pretty much everybody watching this show. Wow, a lot of people with some strong comments here. Okay, so earlier I asked all of you people if we're tired of hearing about Twitter and Elon, and the only comments that I got really were Gabriel said I wouldn't mind a 30,000-foot view of what's happening over at Twitter, and so there's that. And then let's see, Jobob says yes every day and take the offense and expose the people on Twitter, and that's all fine. The only, I think, disagreement of talking more about Twitter was Ryan. Not necessarily disagreement, but he said I'd be more interested when people start getting charged. That's fair. My only counterpoint to that is if they get charged. I don't have a lot of faith that actually will happen. But over the weekend, Elon Musk started some controversy. I'm sure you've heard about this already, but we'll just recap fairly quickly. Elon tweeted, "My pronouns are prosecute/Fauci." That was a big, earth-shaking moment in the Twitter sphere and among the lefty media, so much so that it prompted a very, very interesting article from The Atlantic. Listen to this. This is from Charlie Warzel from The Atlantic. Says this: Elon Musk is a far-right activist. Okay. Really? That's what we're getting from this? Elon Musk saying, hey, we should probably prosecute Fauci. Now, in the defense of the people on the lefty side that are, had it with Elon Musk, he didn't really say for what, prosecute for what. And then somebody else tweeted back to Elon Musk, prosecute Elon. And so now we're just prosecuting people with no actual charges or indictments being thrown around. We're just, no charges, nothing. We're just going to prosecute everybody for nothing, I guess. But I guess in the defense of the lefty side of the aisle, that is kind of confusing. He didn't say specifically what, and probably just was part of Elon's welcoming the controversy type deal. But that whole article, probably not necessary, probably pretty over the top. It starts off with this: if there's one tweet that will tell you everything you need to know about Elon Musk, it's the one from this morning. In 5 words, Musk managed to mock transgender and non-binary people, signal his disdain for public health officials, and send a flare into the far-right S posters and trolls. He did all of that in just 5 words. Well, we'll get to how Elon defended the transgender non-binary thing, which is in fact ridiculous, and he said so himself. The Atlantic article continues to say the tweet is cruel and senseless to play on pronouns and invoke the right's fury towards Anthony Fauci. Deservedly so, by the way. The dude did a lot of crazy things. His net worth increased by $5 million during the pandemic. And I think a lot of people, including reasonable Democrats, are saying, yeah, Fauci is out of control. Let's try and rein this whole thing in by at least hauling him in front of Congress and questioning him fervently when Republicans take the House congressional committees over. Is there anything else in that article that's worth noting? Okay, so there's that. Rand Paul quote tweeted that tweet and said that Fauci's resignation should not prevent a full-throated investigation into the origins of the pandemic. He must be required to testify under oath regarding any discussions he participated in concerning the Wuhan lab leak. His policies destroyed lives. That is objectively true. Now, to the so Fauci probably, I would hope so, and Kevin McCarthy and all of the Republicans in the House are saying they're going to do that. Ryan said, Keebler-Elf's evil twin. That's funny. It's funny. It's kind of mean, but it definitely is funny. He's talking about Dr. Fauci. What was I saying? Oh, a lot of Republican leadership are saying, yeah, we are going to at least haul him in front of Congress. Whether or not charges will come out of that, who actually knows? But that remains to be seen. On to the transgender stuff, the non-binary stuff. A guy named Scott Kelly tweeted, Elon, please don't mock and promote hate toward the already marginalized and at risk of violence members of the LGBTQ plus community. They are real people with real feelings. Furthermore, Dr. Fauci is a dedicated public servant whose sole motivation was saving lives. I can see that argument for Dr. Fauci. The problem is Dr. Fauci will save your life, even if it means killing you. He was solely focused on saving your life from the COVID virus and had no problem with any of the terrible mental traumas that was experienced from kids everywhere, so on and so forth. Yes, Dr. Fauci was focused on saving people's lives from COVID, but had complete disregard for any other facet of life in total in the American population. So there's that. So anyways, this guy's trying to hit, don't marginalize the already marginalized community. Elon then responded with this, I strongly disagree. Forcing your pronouns upon others when they didn't ask and implicitly ostracizing those who don't is neither good nor kind to anyone. Good point, Elon. As for Fauci, he lied to Congress and funded gain-of-function research that killed millions of people. Not awesome, in my opinion, said Elon Musk. Oh, man. So stuff is getting fired up over there on the Twitter sphere. Also, there's more stuff coming out about the Twitter's process of getting Donald Trump banned from their platform. That doesn't look good. I'm kind of... So initially, on the first day the Twitter files came out, they're on installment 5 now. The first day that it came out, we did a whole big, long thing. And then I realized we probably can't do a whole big, long thing for every single one. So I'm kind of like waiting till there's a tranche of Twitter files that come out, and then we'll kind of distill it down and kind of like just get a more... summary type version of it rather than spending an entire show on it every single day because they come out often. So that's kind of how we're going to play that in case you're looking for that sort of stuff. That'll come when kind of everything is kind of consolidated into one thing. But anyways, it's Elon versus the world, it seems like. And on Saturday, Dave Chappelle was doing a show at the Chase Bank Arena in San Francisco in which for some reason, he brought Elon on stage to say hello. That exchange was not awesome. Listen to this. And by the way, too, I don't know if I got all of the profane words out of this. So in case something slips through and harms your tender little ears, I apologize. But Dave Chappelle uses a lot of profanity all the time. And sometimes it's difficult to catch it all. So anyways, watch this. Elon getting booed at Chase Bank Arena in San Francisco when he was brought on by Dave Chappelle. Check this out. Also, if you haven't already, would appreciate you clicking the little like button that's down here and the little share button that's over there. Would really, really appreciate you doing so. It really helps us kind of keep chugging along on this show every single day, especially if you're watching on Facebook. That's where we bring in the big bucks. And by big bucks, I mean making sure we can stay afloat here. So really would appreciate you doing that. Anyways, with that being said, check this out. Elon versus Dave Chappelle. Not versus Dave Chappelle, versus the entire arena in which Dave Chappelle welcomed him on stage. Check this out.
Always for the richest man in the world. cheers and boos I see. Elon. We're expecting this, were you? It sounds like some of them people you fired are in the audience. But you know there's one thing. All those people are booing, and I'm just pointing out the obvious. You have terrible seats. I understand. All coming from way up there, the last minute, non-playing.
So that happened over the weekend. Elon got booed after going on stage with Dave Chappelle. John says it seems like a mix of cheers and boos. Yeah, I kind of got that too. A lot of boos, but also it was being filmed from the up top. And Dave Chappelle said, shoot, I don't think I put that clip in there. Dave Chappelle's it goes on to say, all the boos are coming up from the terrible seats, and a lot of the cheers are coming from down here. And Gabriel says they're just jealous. Yeah, I would imagine that. Marcel says the same thing that Dave Chappelle said. The people booing are probably the ones that got fired. Yeah, that makes sense. Jason says this. It's kind of interesting. Well, it tells you the idiots that listen to Dave Chappelle. I don't mind it. I actually like Dave Chappelle quite a bit. I don't agree with him a lot of the times, but I do like him. So I don't know if I'm disagreeing with you necessarily, Jason, or you're saying that the idiots that are among the bigger crowd of Dave Chappelle listeners are the ones basically raising their hands by booing and identifying themselves. Maybe that's what you're saying. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't know. What a wild time. At the very least, the world's richest man is interesting yet again. Hasn't been for a very long time. Just kind of a boring old milquetoast person. But Elon Musk is not afraid of controversy and is fascinating as the world's richest man. So there's that. That'll do it for us today. That's about it. There's some other stuff we can get to. The Los Angeles mayor got inaugurated, I believe, over the weekend, and Kamala Harris made her first appearance. That's the big story. Kamala Harris made her first appearance in a very long time. If you're not following the news, Kamala Harris has been absent from the public eye for weeks. And everyone's like, where's Kamala Harris? And a lot of people are like, well, it's probably because she's entirely a net negative when she sticks her head up out of the bunker that is the vice president's mansion. So, that's not super interesting, but anyways, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow. If you haven't already, would appreciate you giving me a little follow on any of these social media platforms. I'll be honest, I've been kind of dormant on the whole social media stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, I apologize. Not apologize. I just haven't been doing much on it lately. I probably should get back in the swing of things on the Instagram platforms, but that's kind of where I engage the most with people. So if you wouldn't mind, give me a follow on any of those social media platforms. Obviously, the Chiron for the Facebook is still wrong. And Twitter, hopefully that'll be changing too. Supposedly Elon is purging some bots and will free up the @Jobob on Twitter too, just solely in and of itself. But we'll see. Would appreciate you doing that. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Anything happens in the news over the next couple days, we will bring it to you. And then, I did want to get to this. Well, not this specific thing, but there are some of these types of comments. I didn't flag a ton of them. But Daniel says, love this show. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate you and all the people that also agree with that. What Daniel says, I very, very much appreciate it. I still can't believe I get to do this every day. And sometimes those comments come through, and I was able to flag this one so that I could bring it on later on in the show to show how much I appreciate all of you as well. Let's see. That'll do it. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. God bless America.